Find the GCF and LCM of each set of numbers. So we have 12 and 24. To find the GCF and LCM, we need to do the prime factorization. So I assume that you know how to do prime factorization. So, and this is how you do it. So 12 is divisible so by 3, so it's 3 and 4, so we have 3 and 4, and 3 is prime because it's only prime numbers can only be divided by itself or 1, so 3 is prime, so I will circle that, and 4 is 2 times 2, so now 2 is prime. So that means 12 is equal to 2 squared times 3. So now let's do the 24. So 24 is 2 and 12. So, and then 12 is 3 times 4. And then 4 is 2 times 2. So now we have 24 is equal to how many 2's? 1, 2, 3. So 2 cubed times how many 3? 1. So now the LCM is the smallest or least number that both 12 and 24 will divide into. So that is, it is the smallest number that contains both 24 and 12 as factors, or the smallest number that is a multiple of both these values. It is the multiple common to the two values. So 12 and 24. Therefore, it will be the smallest number that contains every factor in these two numbers. So, or you can think the easiest way to remember is that LCM is the greatest occurrence on both of these numbers. So let's say the 2 cubed. So we have 2 cubed and then 2 squared. So the highest occurrence is 3. So this has 3. This is 2. So the LCM is will take the highest occurrence. So we have 2 to the cube power, and then we have 3 to the 1 power and 3 to the first power. So we just take 3. So this is equal to 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. 8 times 3 is 24. Now GCF is the greatest common factor. It is the biggest or the greatest number that will divide into both 12 and 24. And if, it's easier to remember if you think it this way. GCF is the number that has the smallest occurrence. So 2 occur 2 times here, and in here 2 occur 3 times. So the smallest occurrence, so this we take the smallest occurrence, so just take the 2 squared, and in here it occur 1 time, and 3 here it occur 1 time, so we just take that 3. So 2 times 2 is 4, and 4 times 3 is 12. So this is the LCM is 24, and GCF is equal to 12. So it's 2. So number 2, we have 16 and 24. So we do the prime factorization. So 4 times 4 is 16. And then 2 times 2 is 4. And then this one too, 2 times 2 is 4. That means 16 is equal to 2 to the 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 of them. So 2 to the 4th power. Now let's do the 24. This is 2 and 12, and then we have 4 and 3, and then 2 and 2. So 24 is equal to, how many 2's? 1, 2, 3. So 2 cubed times 1, 3, so times 3. Now the LCM is the highest occurrence in both of these numbers, 16 and 24. So the highest occurrence, so this one, 16, the 2 occurred 4 times. So, and in 24, 2 occurred 3 times. So we take the 2 to the 4th. Now in 24, 3 occurred 1 time, and in 16, there's no 3's, so we take the 3. So 2 to the 4th times 3 is equal to 48. So that's the LCM. So GCF is equal to, so GCF, we take the smallest occurrence in both numbers. So 2 to the 4th, and then in 24 we have 2 to the 3rd, so we take the 2 to the 3rd. So we take the smallest occurrence. And in here, in 24, 3 occurs 1 time, and 16 occurs no 3. So we take the no 3. So just 2 to the 3rd, or this is equal to 2 to the 3rd is 8. So we have 12 and 16. So 12, we do the prime factorization. So 12 is 4 times 3. And then when it's prime, then I just put a circle on it. So 2 times 2 is 4. So 16 is 4 times 4, or this is 2 and 2, and this is also 2 and 2. So the 12 is equal to 2 squared times 3. Now the 16 is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4. So 2 to the 4th is 16. So now we do the LCM. LCM is the highest occurrence in both numbers. So LCM, so 12, 2 to the 2nd, and then in 16, 2 to the 4th. So we take the highest occurrence, 2 to the 4th. And then in 12, there is 1, 3, and in 16, no 3's. So we take the highest occurrence, 3. So 2 to the 4th times 3 is equal to 48. Now the GCF is equal to the smallest occurrence. So we take 2 to the 2 power, and we have 2 to the 4th, and the smallest occurrence is 2 to the 4th. So we take 2 to the 2 squared. And in here, in 12 there is 1, 3, and in 16 there is no 3. So we just take the no 3. So we just take the 2 to the 4th, or this is equal to 4. So we have 9 and 12. So 9 is 3 times 3, and the 12 is 4 times 3, and then 4 can be broken down into 2 and a 2. So 9 is equal to 3 squared, and then 12 is equal to 2 squared times 3. So we take the find the LCM. So we take the highest occurrence in both numbers. So 3, we have a 3 squared in 9, and then in 12 we have 3. So we take the highest occurrence. So we take the 3 squared. And then in 9 there are no 2's, and in 12 there are 2 2's. So times 2 to the 2nd. So 3 squared 3 squared is 9 and 2 squared is 4, so 9 times 4 is 36. So now the GCF is the lowest occurrence, so 3 occurred 2 times, and in 12 3 occurs 1 time, so we take the 1 time. And then the 2 occurred 2 times in 12, and there are no 2's in 9, so we take the none. So this is the GCF, the 3, just 3.